Have you ever wondered why, despite your best efforts, the women you meet just don't seem as interested as you expect? Or why attraction seems to fade faster than it used to? It's not about money, charm, or even experience. It's something far more subtle, something that works on a subconscious level, the moment a woman sees it. And if you're over 60, it's even more critical because small physical habits can have an outsized impact on her perception of you. The first thing to understand is that attraction, especially after a certain age, is as much about visual and physical signals as it is about personality. Women are wired to notice cues of health, vitality, and energy. These cues are not shallow. They are deeply biological. They signal longevity, stability, and the ability to engage fully in life. And the problem is, many men unknowingly engage in habits that undermine these signals, slowly turning women off before any meaningful connection has a chance to form. Let's start with posture. Slouching is subtle, but it speaks volumes. When a man hunches forward, it subconsciously signals low energy, lack of confidence, or even resignation. It's not just about looking smaller, it's about appearing less capable of handling life's challenges, less vibrant, less alive. Women notice this immediately, even if they don't consciously realize it. A straight back, squared shoulders, and a calm, open stance communicate strength, presence, and vitality. The difference is psychological as much as it is physical. Next, consider grooming habits, or the lack of them. At 60 plus, hair thinning, facial stubble, untrimmed nails, or untended clothing can send signals of neglect or low self-care. Women interpret this as an indicator of overall energy and lifestyle choices. It's not vanity, it's biology. They are reading cues that suggest whether you maintain your health, hygiene, and self-respect. A clean, put-together appearance is not about impressing someone. It's about signaling that you respect yourself, which directly increases attraction. Now, let's talk about eye contact. Many men over 60 have developed a habit of avoiding sustained eye contact. It might come from shyness, insecurity, or just years of social conditioning. But here's the psychological truth. Eye contact communicates confidence, interest, and emotional availability. When you avoid it, it subconsciously communicates disinterest or uncertainty. When you maintain it in a calm, confident way, it signals that you are present, aware, and fully engaged, a powerful attractor for women. Another critical physical habit is the way you carry your energy overall. If you walk slowly with your head down, shuffle your feet, or make yourself appear smaller, you're signaling low vitality. Women over 50 or 60 are highly attuned to energy flow because it communicates health and life force. Small changes like walking with purpose, keeping your head level, and moving with a measured rhythm create an invisible aura of confidence and strength. These are habits that require conscious awareness, but the payoff in attraction is enormous. And finally, let's discuss subtle expressions of fatigue or discomfort. Frowning frequently, clenching your jaw, or showing tension in your shoulders communicates stress and resistance. Women are instinctively drawn to partners who exude calm energy, a sense of stability, and the ability to handle life without visible strain. When these physical cues are off, even slightly, they trigger a subconscious evaluation that reduces attraction. Your face, posture, and movement become a silent language that she reads constantly. The reality is harsh but simple. Attraction doesn't care about your life story, your intentions, or even how interesting your personality might be. Physical signals speak first, and they speak loudest. If your body habits silently signal low energy, lack of confidence, or poor self-care, no amount of charm will overcome that initial subconscious judgment. This doesn't mean you have to change who you are. It means you must understand the psychology of perception. Women respond to physical cues because evolutionarily they have learned to pick up on vitality, energy, and presence as markers of compatibility and potential partnership. Small adjustments to posture, grooming, eye contact, energy, and facial tension can completely alter the impression you give. And these adjustments are not about looking young. They are about projecting competence, confidence, and life force, which are eternally attractive traits. So, take a moment and reflect. Which of your habits might be silently reducing your attractiveness? Which subtle physical cues could be corrected to send a signal of energy, confidence, and presence? Because once you understand this, you can begin to make adjustments that transform not just how women see you, but how you feel in your own body. And that confidence radiates in ways words never can. Now let's dig into habits that most men don't even realize are pushing women away, and how subtle changes can make a dramatic difference in attraction. This isn't about being someone you're not. It's about understanding how women perceive physical signals after 60 and adjusting in ways that communicate strength, vitality, and presence. One of the biggest overlooked habits is neglecting movement and energy. Many men over 60 unconsciously slow down their pace, shuffle their feet, or move with hesitation. It's natural with age, but here's the problem. Women subconsciously interpret sluggish movement as low energy, low drive, or even low engagement with life itself. Your movements communicate more about your vitality than any conversation ever could. The solution isn't pretending to be 20 again. It's about deliberate, confident motion. Walk with purpose, stand tall when you enter a room, and carry yourself as though your presence matters. These subtle cues immediately signal confidence and life force, creating attraction without saying a word. Another habit that silently destroys appeal is poor grooming and hygiene routines. We've touched on it, but it's worth emphasizing because the details matter. Facial hair that is unkempt, fingernails that are neglected, clothes that are wrinkled or mismatched. All of these signal low self-care. Women don't consciously critique every detail, but subconsciously, these cues trigger judgments about health, attention to detail, and how you value yourself. A simple shift, trimmed nails, neat hair, well-fitting clothes, can completely change how she experiences your presence. It's not vanity, it's biology speaking through perception. Next, let's examine facial expressions and microtensions. Frowning, jaw clenching, or tight shoulders may feel harmless because they're just habits, but they send strong signals about stress, irritability, or defensiveness. Women read these microexpressions unconsciously. A face that relaxes into calm confidence communicates safety, emotional stability, and strength. This is powerful attraction energy. It's subtle, but it's relentless. Every interaction reinforces this message, either pulling her closer or pushing her away. Eye contact is another physical habit that separates men who remain attractive from those who fade into the background. Avoiding eye contact can communicate insecurity or disinterest, even if your mind is fully engaged. Holding steady, calm, confident eye contact signals attention, emotional availability, and presence. Women notice this instantly, even if they aren't consciously aware of why they feel drawn to someone. Posture, once again, plays a huge role. Slouching is not just a matter of aesthetics, it communicates something deeper. Hunched shoulders, leaning on furniture, or sitting in a collapsed position signals low energy and low dominance in a subtle psychological language women respond to automatically. Straightening your back, broadening your shoulders, and taking up space in a confident but relaxed way sends the opposite message. Vitality, competence, and readiness to engage fully in life. Even subtle gestures like hand movements, fidgeting, or restless leg movement can affect perception. These micro-habits indicate nervous energy, distraction, or discomfort. Women respond to these cues subconsciously. Calm, measured gestures communicate presence and control. The difference may seem small, but in psychology, these micro-cues compound into a clear impression over time. Another overlooked factor is vocal tone and speech energy. As men age, voices sometimes become quieter, slower, or flatter. Women pick up on this energy subconsciously. It signals mental engagement, confidence, and vitality. Speaking with a steady, clear, and confident tone, even subtly, enhances presence. It reinforces the physical cues of posture, movement, and grooming, creating a holistic impression of strength and attractiveness. Let's not forget attention to physical fitness and mobility. You don't need to be ripped or athletic, but remaining physically capable, able to move without stiffness, stand without support, and engage in activities comfortably, signals vitality. Women at any age, but especially after 50 or 60, notice how a man's body communicates energy and life force. Simple practices like stretching, walking, and light strength work maintain not just health, but attraction. Finally, consider how your presence fills a room. Subtle habits, slouching, dragging your feet, or avoiding engagement, diminish the energy you project. Conversely, walking in with calm confidence, a relaxed smile, and intentional movement signals power and magnetic presence. Women subconsciously measure this energy. They don't ask for it, they feel it. Your physical habits create a silent conversation long before words are exchanged. The takeaway is simple, yet powerful. Women over 60 are not shallow. They are astute observers of vitality, energy, and presence. Physical habits, no matter how small, speak louder than intentions. Posture, grooming, eye contact, facial tension, movement, and energy communicate strength, stability, and life force. Correcting even a few of these habits can drastically change the way women perceive you, increasing attraction and creating an aura of magnetism that words alone cannot convey. Now ask yourself, which physical habits are silently reducing your attractiveness? Which ones can you adjust today to project more energy, confidence, and presence? Understanding these subtle psychological cues is the first step toward becoming the kind of man who naturally draws women in, regardless of age. Now let's go deeper into the habits that are often invisible to you but scream disinterest or low vitality to women. These are the subtle, almost imperceptible physical cues that can destroy attraction, even if your mind, heart, and intentions are in the right place. Women notice these things instinctively. They read your body before they even hear a word. And at 60 plus, these cues carry even more weight because they signal long-term energy, health, and engagement with life. The first hidden killer habit is tension in your shoulders and neck. Many men carry stress here without realizing it. Tight shoulders, hunched necks, and rigid posture communicate worry, fatigue, or unease. Even if you're confident mentally, this tension can subconsciously signal weakness. Women notice it immediately because it's a nonverbal cue that you may not have the emotional or physical energy to engage fully. The antidote is deceptively simple. Practice consciously releasing tension. Roll your shoulders back, lengthen your spine, and breathe into your chest. These small adjustments broadcast strength and calm confidence. Next is hand placement and movement. Where you put your hands, how you gesture, and how often you fidget sends continuous signals. Hands crossed defensively over the chest suggest defensiveness or insecurity. Restless tapping signals impatience or anxiety. A man who gestures deliberately, keeps his hands visible, and uses controlled, expressive movements communicates presence, engagement, and vitality. These are subconscious signals that women pick up on instantly. Another underestimated habit is facial expressiveness, or lack of it. A face that rarely smiles, frowns unconsciously, or looks tense sends subtle messages of negativity or disengagement. Women respond to energy first. When your face reflects calm, warmth, and controlled expressiveness, you project emotional stability and approachability. Small changes, like lifting your chin slightly, softening your eyes, and relaxing your jaw, drastically alter the energy you project. Let's talk about movement efficiency. Shuffling, slow steps, or dragging your feet signals low energy. Confident walking, measured steps, purposeful movement, head held high, signals competence, health, and vitality. Women sense whether a man moves through life with purpose, and that purposefulness is highly attractive. At 60 plus, movement becomes a silent declaration of ongoing engagement with life. Another habit that kills attraction is unbalanced weight distribution. While standing or sitting, leaning too far back, leaning on objects, or shifting weight nervously communicates instability and lack of presence. Women instinctively register whether a man carries himself with self-possession. Standing or sitting in a grounded, balanced way communicates quiet confidence and control, qualities that naturally draw women in. Vocal tone and breathing are another critical layer. A soft, shaky, or flat voice conveys fatigue or low vitality. Calm, steady, and slightly energetic speech signals presence, competence, and life force. Breath control is subtle but powerful. When you breathe deeply and evenly, your body broadcasts vitality and composure without you even realizing it. Next is eye engagement combined with micro-expressions. Many men over 60 avoid sustained eye contact or glance away subconsciously. Even brief avoidance can communicate hesitation, insecurity, or disinterest. Women notice micro-expressions, tiny flickers of emotion in your eyes or around your mouth that reveal energy levels and engagement. Maintaining calm, warm, and intentional eye contact signals confidence and presence. Another silent turnoff is body hygiene cues, which go beyond basic grooming. Subtle cues like lingering body odor, dry skin, or rough hands can communicate neglect. Women subconsciously interpret these as indicators of lifestyle, energy, and self-respect. Attention to these details is not vanity. It signals that you value yourself and your presence, which increases attraction automatically. Finally, consider how you carry your weight in social space. Do you shrink in corners, avoid engagement, or stay behind others physically? Or do you move with intention, take up space comfortably, and engage naturally? The latter communicates authority, confidence, and vitality. Women respond instinctively to men who occupy space with calm assurance. Here's the truth most men don't realize. All of these habits are interpreted unconsciously, instantaneously, and cumulatively. A single negative cue might be forgiven, but multiple small habits stack in her perception. Before you say a word, she has already formed an opinion based on posture, movement, energy, grooming, facial tension, and micro-expressions. Understanding this is critical, not as a checklist to obsess over, but as a roadmap to maintaining attraction at 60 and beyond. The practical takeaway: consciously assess your physical habits daily, stand tall, move with purpose, relax tension, control gestures, groom meticulously, maintain eye contact, speak with clarity. Small, deliberate adjustments have an outsized impact on how women perceive you and how much attraction you generate naturally. Ask yourself, which of these subtle physical cues are silently sabotaging your appeal? Which could you adjust today to project more vitality, strength, and presence? Because when you get this right, your energy does more to attract women than any charm, story, or past experience ever could. Now let's confront the harsh truth that most men over 60 never face. Attraction isn't static. It's a living, breathing dynamic that responds to every subtle signal your body gives. And here's the part most men miss. The habits that silently destroy attraction are often so ingrained that you don't even notice them. But the good news? They are also the easiest to change, once you become aware of them and take deliberate action. One of the final habits that can undermine attraction is inconsistent energy levels. Women don't just notice your physical presence, they sense the energy behind it. If you fluctuate from vibrant to lethargic, confident to hesitant, or engaged to distracted, it sends subconscious signals of unreliability. Over time, this erodes attraction because women crave emotional and energetic consistency. The solution is deliberate self-awareness. Monitor your energy and choose how you show up, moment by moment. A man who maintains a steady, grounded energy communicates stability, confidence, and vitality without speaking a word. Closely linked is the habit of neglecting physical fitness or mobility. It's not about chasing youth or unrealistic standards, it's about signaling that you care for your body and your life. Subtle stiffness, lack of endurance, or visible discomfort during simple movements communicates low vitality, even if your mind is sharp and your humor is impeccable. Engaging in daily movement, stretching, or light resistance training doesn't just improve your health, it reinforces your attractiveness on a biological, subconscious level. Women read these cues instinctively. They sense a man's capability to live fully and energetically. Next is facial tension and emotional leakage. How often do you catch yourself frowning, clenching your jaw, or letting stress show in your expressions? These micro habits communicate tension and dissatisfaction even if you're saying all the right words. Women respond to the energy behind words more than the words themselves. A relaxed, confident face communicates safety, presence, and approachability. A tight, tense face communicates stress, fatigue, or emotional unavailability. The key is simple: awareness and micro adjustments. Practice softening your face, relaxing your jaw, and letting calmness radiate naturally. Another habit that undermines attraction is poor social engagement posture. Leaning back in a chair, withdrawing into corners, or avoiding interaction may feel comfortable, but it communicates withdrawal and disinterest. Women respond to men who take up space comfortably, who show they are present and engaged with the world around them. The smallest shift, sitting forward slightly, making eye contact, or positioning yourself confidently in a group, transforms perception instantly. Then there's over-gesturing or fidgeting. Nervous movements, tapping, shifting weight excessively, or drumming fingers can create subconscious tension for women. They interpret these micro habits as uncertainty or low confidence. Replacing these with calm, measured gestures signals control, presence, and life force. It's the difference between looking like a man who has his act together and someone who is unsure of himself, even if your intentions are completely honest. Let's not forget the way you occupy space physically. Shrinking, slumping, or attempting to appear smaller may feel polite or self-effacing, but it sends a message of low energy or disengagement. Standing or sitting with an open, grounded, confident posture immediately communicates strength and presence. Women respond to space as instinctively as they respond to energy. How you carry yourself becomes a silent language that draws them in or repels them. Finally, the overarching lesson is this: every small physical habit communicates something about your energy, vitality, and presence. Posture, grooming, facial tension, micro movements, energy, and engagement, all of these combine to form the perception of who you are. And perception, in the first moments of attraction, often matters more than words, stories, or accomplishments. Here's the actionable truth: you are never too old to change these habits. Each small adjustment compounds, subtly but powerfully altering the way women perceive you. Stand taller, move with purpose, relax your face, maintain steady eye contact, groom meticulously, speak with calm confidence, and carry yourself as though you still radiate life and energy, because women notice, they feel it, and it makes all the difference. Now here's my question for you. Which one of these physical habits do you see in yourself that could be silently turning women off, and what small change can you make starting today? Write your answer in the comments. Sharing your reflection could help someone else finally see the power of presence. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden ways physical habits influence attraction, like subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. Remember, it's not about changing who you are. It's about projecting the energy, vitality, and presence that women naturally respond to. Your body speaks before your words, and when you master this, you master attraction.